Hi, it's Dr. Greg Jantz. As a counselor, I can tell you there really are events, as we all know this, that would be the top most stressful ever. The top 10 most stressful life events. I've written about it here, but I just want to share a little bit about it. Number one, it is, and these have been created. They're not original with me, but I'm going to say I've experienced this as a true accurate list and working through the years, last 40 years with thousands of clients who have come through the program here at the Center Place of Hope. All right, number one, most stressful, the death of a spouse. And this is when we see the complicated grief and loss, we see the issues related to a person who has lost a loved one they've been with 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, and what happens in the quick, at times, because of the grief, the difficult deterioration that happens to the person who's living after that significant loss of a loved one. Number two, related to relationships again, and it's divorce, the ending of a relationship, all the emotional upheaval, the financial strain. This ranks as the second most stressful event that a person can go through. Number three, again, these all involve relationships, don't they? Number three is a marital separation. Not quite at the same level, but pretty close. It's number three to the ending and the actual divorce relationship. Number four, incarceration. When you have a family member or yourself who's faced a prison or jail sentence, losing freedom has lifelong significant, and I'm going to say this is where appropriate counseling and help has got to be there, because it does have lasting emotional consequences. So one of the greatest antidotes happens to be, by the way, a process of forgiveness. Oftentimes it's forgiving oneself when there's been incarceration, or forgiving others. Number five, again, involves relationships. It's death of a close family member. And what happens to you there. So we know that this is separate than death of a spouse. And again, this is number five on our list of 10. But this is significant. When you lose a family member, the emotional pain and just the destabilization, this could be a son, a daughter, a close relative, but a family member. And there are some types of grief that are more complex, and this usually produces one of the most complex forms of grief. Number six, major health issues. A diagnosis of cancer, for example, can be one of the stressful events, most stressful events, because it impacts not only you, but it impacts other family members in that journey. All right. Number seven, now this again is relational, but it can be a positive. It's marriage. Often, of course, seen as positive, hopefully positive, but all the adjustments and stress that one can go through. So marriage, yeah, that's an interesting one to be on the top 10 list of most stressors. Number eight is a job loss. Generally, it's the financial worries, and at times a sense of loss of something you loved. At other times, it could be a sense of betrayal that comes with this. But that's a big one. All right. Number 9 out of 10. Number 9 is marital reconciliation. Yes, that is on the top 10 list. Reconciliation, rebuilding, restoring, and all the efforts and works that one must put into that if that's really going to happen. And forgiveness, and learning how to deal with trust again, and intimacy, and emotional, past emotional hurt and wounds. Marital reconciliation, though, can have an outcome that's extremely positive. The journey there is number 9 on the list of the 10 most stressful. Retirement is number 10. And this is usually a change. We lose meaning of what we've been, who we are, what we're doing. And along with that is just the stress that comes in a change of the daily routine. So, all right, now these events, top 10 right here. There's a lot more in the article that we've done on this as well. But I just want to acknowledge acknowledging the stress, dealing with this and going, yeah, that's what's going on. We can't ignore it. Ignoring these significant life events and stressors and just pretending they don't exist, that stress will go somewhere. And usually what we see is decline in physical health. We know that it's so important during key stress points that we work diligently through nutrition, through exercise. I know taking care of yourself physically and taking care of yourself, I'm going to add spiritually, and really being from my vantage point, prayerful during these stressors. All right, social support, having the other healthy relationships that we can trust, that are part of our inner circle. Hopefully you have 4 or 5 people that are part of that inner circle. All right. I think too, this area of complicated grief that's just not resolved. It's like it just keeps reoccurring. I have post-traumatic stress. I have depression that leads to despair. I have ongoing anxiety. It's so high that it's social anxiety that I disconnect from others. These are things to look at as we are looking at dealing with life's most significant stressors. Please delve into the article. And there is a time where it is not only appropriate, but to recover, we need to seek the right kind of help, the professional intervention in our life to allow us not only to renew, but to restore our well-being, and at times to change a whole direction in our life.